Hi, in this video we're going to replace the display light bulbs for the display here. This is a radio out of a 2005 Pontiac Grand Prix. The radio works, everything lights up, all but the display. You can't see what channel you're on. So we're going to fix that today. Once you get the radio out of the car, we have to get the faceplate off. You got two screws on this side here, two screws on this side here, then you got these two clips down here and two clips here. So we need to first get rid of these bolts here. Put them aside. Those. Be very careful while you're doing this so you don't break anything. I'll sit her down here. Go. Easy. Slide it forward. Okay, looks like we got a couple cables there holding it. So we need to take these covers off here. Go, take that cover off here. Then you got these two ribbon cables you need to unplug. Just gently rock it back and forth and unplug it. Gently rock it back and forth and plug it, and then you can pull it straight on out of these holes here. Then you can set the radio aside. I also recommend taking a picture of the faceplate so you know where all the buttons are, because once you take this light board off, the buttons can fall out, and if you don't take a picture you may get them in the wrong order. So I suggest taking a picture first. Then we got to remove these screws that hold this faceplate on. We need a 1/8 bit here, and we'll just start taking these screws out. These out, set them aside. I gotta take the knobs off. Take both of these knobs off, set them aside. Sometimes they can be a real pain to get off. See what I mean about the buttons getting crazy on you? I should have taken the knobs off first. I can't get the knob off. Okay, knobs off. Alright, now that we got the light board out of the faceplate, you can see the typical problem with these Pontiac radios. The display. No display at all. No time, no radio station. And these lights here are all LED, which almost never go bad. There's 4 bulbs here that light up the buttons. One's out here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 bulbs here. These 3 are 3mm bulbs, and this is a 4mm bulb. We're going to replace the 3 that are behind here, which are 5mm bulbs. This is a 4mm bulb, and these are 2 3s. We're going to replace them all just to be sure, because they will go bad sooner or later. These you almost never have to replace. If you hit the power button, it'll come on, but you still got no display. You should have a clock coming up saying something here. We've got nothing. So we're going to fix that problem now. Let me turn off the radio here, and we'll take this out of the radio. Just pull these two ribbon cables. Pull this board out nice and easy. I'm going to set this radio aside for now. I'm going to unplug it, get it out of my way. And we're going to start working on this. Out. This is the main display that has the bulbs. There should be 3 light bulbs behind it. They will burn out. We got these little tabs here that have to be bent straight so you can get the cover off. I take a pair of needle nose and just bend them back straight. Some of them may have solder on them, which I think those two do. I'll just get these straight for now. Then just easy wiggle this thing off here, like so. And voila, we got the 3 bulbs here that are apparently burned out. We'll find out for sure. Put a little power to it, and there's nothing. Appears all 3 of those are burned out, which is what the customer said. So now all we got to do is locate where the bulbs are and unsolder them. So you got this bulb here. Just easy. And there's that bulb. Let me make sure I got all the solder out of that hole. It appears all that solder's out of that hole. So you got this bulb left. Well, that's the bad bulb. You get these 2 here. Pull these 2 up like so. Get your iron here. Keep doing this till you get them out. And there's the second one out. Let me check the hole here. Yep, solder's clear. Then last but not least, this one here. Get the solder out of that one. Then get the solder off of this one. Almost. And there's the third one. I want to make sure I got it. Yep, all 3 holes are clear now. Now that we got them out, you got these these three sets of holes. There's obviously there's 2, 4, and 6. So there's all the holes that these came out of. Alright, now that I got all the bulbs out, we're going to clear out the holes with solder. What I do is I take a regular pin, needle, out of the wife's sewing basket, and I go to where the holes are and clear out the solder. Where I couldn't get the pins or the bulbs out, just heat it up and keep pushing it till it goes through. And finally, it will go through and clear the hole. Once it goes through, pull it back out and your holes are clear. Do that to all of them and you're able to clear out the holes and the bulbs will slide right in. Let me check, make sure I got the holes clear now. All the holes seem to be clear. Then we just start putting in the new bulbs. I got my packet of bulbs here. And we just start lining them up with the holes here. Push them through. Bend them down there. On the back side, just bend them out of the way so you can get them to stay in there. Get your second one. generally good to go through the hole. Bend that into place. Bend the leads. You can readjust them as needed. Last but not least, get through the holes. Get it where you want it. Bend it down. Make sure it's just flush against the board. Bend the leads where you want them. Then the big trick is soldering into place. I always make things a little easier on me. I put a little flux on here. Makes the solder stick a little better. You don't have to use flux, I just do because it makes it, like I said, stick a little better. Grab some flux here, or my solder I mean, and then I just solder them into place. Solder it into place. Check them, make sure they're tight, not moving. Nope. And bend these things back up. Cut all these off so they don't touch anything. Cut them off nice and flush as you can without cutting your solder joint. Get rid of all those. Then we'll go to our next one, which is going to be our 4mm bulb. Or at least this is the one I'm going to start with anyway. Which goes right there. Just line her up. Pull her flush to the board. Bend the tabs over. Make sure she's nice and straight. Put a couple little dabs of flux on there. Solder. Hit it with a couple. And make sure it's nice and tight. Yep. Cut those leads off. Discard them. Now we got the 3mm bulbs left. Get them in these little holes are the fun part. And just pull them down nice and flush. Straighten them out. One down flush. Straighten them out. Hit with a little flux again, and here we go with some solder. And carefully cut all those little leads off. And make sure they're nice and straight. Now that I got them soldered in and cut, I left a couple of them long so I can test it real quick. Just turn on my thing. There's the lights. All three of these light bulbs are good to go now. Now we just got to put it back together. I'm going to turn that off. Unplug this stuff. And we'll put that display back on if I could figure out what the heck I just did with it. Oh yeah, here it is. I'll put this back on here. Like so. Be very careful you don't push it too hard and break this dumb thing, which has happened in the past. It can be a pain in the butt to get back on here. Let's do a little more straightening here, I guess. This should just slide. Right back, there we go. Right back on. And make sure you cut off all these extra tabs when you're done there. Don't have extra crap lying around. And then bend these tabs. You can find them all, just bend them all back to where when you took it apart so it doesn't come apart on you. All bent back together. Looks nice. Clean the display a little bit. Now put her back together, put her back in your car, and you're good to go. That's pretty much it. Thanks. Here is the finished product. We have display again, and the bottom row of lights are working. As you can see, the radio is working again. We hit seek. Oh, we turned it off, turn it on. Hit seek, and it seeks. Stations come up. Of course, it won't stop because we got no antenna, but she's working like she used to. Turn off the lights so you can get a better look. There it is. Your display, time, clock, stations, all your lighting is back, and that's it. Thanks. Have a good night.